Alright, hey, what's up, everyone? This is the Updeucer, aka the Metal Man on YouTube. Um, this is my kill on Caminus, the Gate Lord. Um, this also was pulled from my stream. I stream on Twitch at the Updeucer, and I wanted to pause it here before we go forward. This is right before I get into the fight, just so you kind of have like an idea of where my gear is at. Um, Basically, just the 525 stuff you get from the commander rank. Um, it's currently here, like here, it's gemmed with what is that? 3 onyx, 2 opals, and then 2 retaliation gems for my weapons. And then the neck piece I have is from a quest. I think that's the 571 that you get from doing some of the elite quests. Ring is something I picked up, and neck is the ill-gotten gains. So before we get into this, I was trying to find a group for this. I was trying to I wanted some help because I wasn't like super confident in us taking this down. But on my server, there's just not enough 60s at the moment, and this is like a specific boss for a quest. So my normal strategy I had gone over in the previous video that I had uploaded was to isolate and target a single enemy. But in this case, we are isolated, and fortunately for us, there's only one enemy. However, if you do notice, if I back this up just ever so slightly and get out of this and back up a little more, to our left and to our right, those are 2 large chests that you could probably come here and, well, if you can make it here, because you do have to get through a lot of 60 elites. You could come farm these chests if you wanted. That wouldn't be too big of a deal. So fast forward a bit and we'll hit play, and we're getting right into the boss fight. So I didn't notice this initially, but every time you swing on this guy, if you're melee, you're going to have to hit his legs. I didn't know that out the rip of the fight, but I did start to learn it a little bit later on as we go. We should also take notice to his health bar up here. You can't see it at the moment, but this is a 4-bar level 61 elite with an insane amount of health. This fight takes a long time if you want to solo this. I would definitely recommend a group of like 5 or more, just for the like added DPS as well as a healer. Because this fight does take me about 20, almost 25 minutes. But we'll continue through. We'll probably skip ahead a bit through some of this just to lighten the load. But yeah, I opted to play this like hyper defensive because I knew he was going to be hitting me for stupid crazy amounts. So anything I could do to mitigate damage or heal myself back or whatever was what I was going to do. And so I stuck with Sword and Board for a lot of this fight. And when I could take advantage, I was going for the axe to pump out a little bit more and try and help heal myself back up a bit. But this is going to require a lot of stam management if you're going to solo it. And even if you're going to tank this, it's going to require really good stamina management, which I don't really start doing until like a bit later on in the fight. Anytime that he went down like that was big pump time because it was the only time I could get in without getting retaliated on. Um, you'll recognize this unit. He's like fairly common if you're doing portals. Um, their attack patterns are all exactly the same. This guy doesn't do anything crazy or different. He just hits like stupid crazy hard. And you may notice as the video goes on, there's some times where I go to swing and it just doesn't do anything. You'll also notice sometimes that I can actually pass through his legs when he's doing an attack. And that is because in between his legs is basically dead space. It's not space that you can typically travel through, but it's also something that doesn't qualify as his hitbox. My axe is pretty good about landing hits on him because it can go well above or pass through to the other leg. But there are times where it just straight up doesn't land any damage. And the sword and board is highly susceptible to that as well. Even more so because you really have to target his either forwardmost leg or while he's attacking or something, hitting his back leg or something. And you'll see this here. I'm whiffing big time, but I can't move forward into that space because like I said, it's like dead space basically. It's just like where a hitbox kind of is, but it doesn't do anything. And you'll see he does hit quite hard, and this is what I mean by stamina management. You really have to be able to get your stamina back through some means, either while he's attacking or immediately before, immediately after. And you can't really two-hand axe this, hit through his attacks. He's just going to eat up all of your stamina. But I played this very defensively, and I basically drew the fight as long as I possibly could to give me a better chance of survival. Because you're obviously seeing I'm getting chunked for like huge amounts every time I get hit. And I'll admit I didn't really play this like super well or anything. I just out tanked his damage basically. I just utilized my cooldowns and a tad bit of kiting to just kind of maximize some more damage, as well as just try and, like, that's basically my strategy for how I lived this, was tank as hard as possible, eat as much of his stuff as I possibly can, and I'll whittle him down over time. And that's basically what you're seeing here. I'm trying to manage the cooldowns on both my shield so I can get my stamina and my health back, and as well as my pots. So this is basically what the fight looks like, and I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead a bit. And you'll notice like not a lot changed in like a few minutes, because that's basically how this fight went for me. It was just really pour on damage when you can, and you better have your shield ready when he starts swinging, because it does huge damage. All right, gonna go ahead and skip ahead again. Positioning for this fight was also pretty important. I wanted to fight him specifically where we're at currently. Any further forward and you are going to basically pull ads. Any further behind, like any further back behind where my character is now, is more ads to potentially pull. So fighting him here and just fighting like basically like we're playing Pong in between the two chests was about where I want it to be. Um, I eventually start getting like the rhythm of his attacks down, and I start doing better against him. I start recognizing um, more of his like wind up or prep for an attack, and I start getting, like this continued on and continued on, I started getting better at it and like understanding it a bit better, and I felt more confident, and I wasn't so worried every time I took a hit. I'm not like, oh my god, I need a pot, or let me like eat food and kite. It really just came down to like, well, he hit me. I'm not really too worried about it. Let me just make sure I can get my energy back, and we'll just keep this going. And I'm I'm not really focused on like his health bar or anything. I'm just focused on, okay, like where can I land my next attack, and what is he about to do next? And I'm trying to pick up on the tempo of his attacks as well. It's like when he does this attack, then he does this style of attack. This is going to turn into a two attack combo, or is it going to be a 4 attack combo? Something like that is what I'm also trying to look for in this. But this, because it's a physical fight, heavy armor and big time physical resistance is going to be pretty big for this. He doesn't cast or anything like that. He's like basically strictly melee. So you just need to be able to eat heavy melee attacks, and like I've said before, just manage your energy well. There's something also to kind of take note in this is my sword and shield durability. Now I think I might have already skipped over this part, but because his attacks are so heavy and they do so much damage, if you continue to look down here, down in the bottom right, it's going to continue eating away at my sword and shield like pretty quickly. And there was actually a part in the fight where I had to run away, and it may actually be coming up because I think at one point or another I noticed it was turning red. Like I had something red in my bottom right like peripheral, and it was actually my sword and shield because, like I said, his attacks are so heavy and stuff, and they hit so hard that it just chunks the durability of it. And I had to kind of kite away and try to repair like really quickly, so I don't get smacked around by him again. Which I thought was pretty funny because like that was the first time that's ever happened to me, and like I didn't even realize like the durability on the weapon was getting so low so fast. Yeah, just eating some big damage there from him. But this fight was really cool, and I'm genuinely like kind of proud with myself for taking this guy down solo. This was somewhat difficult, and it did take a very long time to finally get him down. And you'll have to kill him, I think, for either like sword and board 580 or 570 quest line, or the axe 570 580, something like that quest line. I'm not entirely sure what gear score the end of this quest is going to give me, but I think I might be coming up on the part where I have to repair. Actually, it's getting quite low again. Yeah, this is about where I recognized it because it'll start flashing red down here in the corner, and I'm like, oh shit, let me just repair this real quick. Like mid-fight, and I get it back up. The axe wasn't in like bad shape or anything, so I just got to keep going with it. But we'll skip ahead again just because this is very much just a back and forth. This is like whenever he does a thing, I'm waiting for him to finish him doing his thing, and then I get to go and attack and capitalize on what he's doing. So we'll skip ahead again. Like I said, this fight does take like a very, very long time if you're having to solo it, so bring some friends. all the ads leading up to here. My let's see, to the front over here, these are all level 50 ads, and they're all elites down there. And everything behind me, like I said before, is like level 60 elites, up in the Shattered Mountains. So yeah, bring some friends. I would just recommend bringing friends. That's just going to be your best option for getting this guy down. Or if you wanted to solo it, it's possible. And I'm just trying to let you know that it is possible, and this is kind of a strategy for doing it. I didn't have my axe fully optimized for this fight, I don't think, but at the same time, I'm not entirely sure it would have made much of a difference. I need to make another video about a more optimized version of the axe that I like, the skill tree that I use for the axe. But yeah, this is a 1v1 fight, and the axe, the setup I have for the axe isn't necessarily good for 1v1s. It's much better at AoE damage and AoE healing on your own, like basically out healing AoE damage. But the sword and board here worked charms. It was doing massive work for me. Not only in the blocking department, but draining his stamina was pretty big with the sword and shield. Just using Q and R with it was really helping chunk down some of his stamina. And then the great axe was doing a really, really good job with it as well. But you'll notice I'm doing very little damage to this guy. He is armored. He has Abyssal and Arcana on him. And obviously that's either going to be I think those are increases to all of those aspects of the game. So armored being less physical damage from melee, less arcane damage, and Abyssal probably means something less void damage or something. That would be my guess. But the sword and board was really, really handy in this fight. You really had to target the legs, or else you're going to miss. If you were to look at him straight on and swing, there's a good chance it would go through his legs. And that, like I said before, the center area between his legs is dead space that you can only pass through when he's doing a move, just then. Otherwise, you're basically going to be body blocked from that center area in between his legs, and you cannot strike that with physical stuff. And I highly doubt a ranged attack would hit that either, because like I said, it is dead space, and I whiff into it a couple of times. I have a couple of very frustrating moments, which is why the audio is not on. Because it just took a really, really, really long time. So we're getting pretty close to the end here. So let's skip ahead just a little bit more. This is just going to be more of the same, more of the same, more of the same. Until I finally get him down. So we're at this point, he's got maybe 5 or 10% left of his health. And his stamina bar is finally almost completely drained as well. You're going to drain stamina bars on bosses by hitting him. Sword and board wise, it's going to be your Q and R are going to take chunks out of that compared to your regular swings. But your regular melee attacks and stuff like that will lightly drain a boss's stamina over time. And I'm finally getting to the point where his stamina is almost gone and he's almost dead. So at this point, it's really not too much longer. I've pretty much stabilized myself health-wise. So I'm not really too worried about his attacks. I am playing super defensive, only letting, I make mistakes, and so I get hit. But here we are. We got the stamina drained completely and putting some big damage on him. And he's got just a absolute sliver of health left. And so I go a little bit more aggressive, but try to keep up the same level of defensiveness that I can. And this is where it really came down to like following the steps I had put into place earlier, where I want to play this very, very defensive. I don't want to like have this much health left where you can't even see it, and not get the guy down. So that's it. That's the kill right here, and we got ourselves the Atlas Killer, which is a nice little epic. But the quest item was really what I was going for. And then we get free reign over the chests. Because on my server, pretty much not too many people are up here nowadays. But that's it. Now I get, like I said, I get free reign over the chest. And I think I get some pretty decent items out of here, if I'm not mistaken. Great Axe of the Ranger. And then I wanted to say I got like another epic from one of these. Yeah, and these elite chests, I think, have a 24-hour reset or something like that. So like I think at least once a day you should be able to come here and get both of these chests pretty much for free. You don't have to fight the big bosso man over here every single time you want one of these chests. Because he's facing the other way, you can pretty much just snipe him from behind him. Okay, yeah, I didn't actually get anything good out of it. So I basically got like the one item. But yeah, that's basically the fight. The steps forward are very simple. Focus, physical, resist. If you want to fight this guy, I recommend gymming for diamonds now, as opposed to the onyx and opal. I recommend maybe like 1 or 2 opals for PvP, because there are different fire. You got your ice gauntlet users and your fire staff users and stuff like that. But if you can, the majority of PvE content in the game does physical damage. There's very, very few spellcasters that are going to do lots and lots of damage to you. So you really just have to worry about physical. So I would recommend gymming for either onyx or diamond, especially for this fight, because he's going to be doing so much physical. But yeah, that's basically it. That's basically the video. If you want to come catch me on Twitch, I am at Twitch TV /the_upducer, and I stream just about every single day. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and catch you next time.